And did you have main drainage?
Oh yes, always.
Always.
Always, yes.
Although
I'm happy to say.
although before that there was a pump outside and also a well, of course, as indeed a lot of these houses had.
You had your own well for water? Yes.
Well, we didn't
Well, it wasn't
use it.
used.
We
No,
didn't use it. We
it
had
was,
mains water.
Now what else have you got written down there?
Oh dear.
If you stick it in a section, it might be easy.
I am. Sir? Well, the first headmaster I remember was Major Atterwell, MC.
World War I.
And he was also captain of the Volunteer Fire Brigade. And then he was followed by Mr. Gill.
Was the volunteer fire brigade down?
Totally volunteer.
And was it in where the near
Common
the
Street.
yes?
I can't.
Opposite the
Well, where the fireplace is now.
Where the fireplace is,
Yes.
yes.
I can't remember where it was before that. I don't know when that was built, but that is certainly the place I remember.
Well, it was for a very short time in the brewery yard. Because
Was it?
when they were discussing the formation of the fire brigade, Mr. Platt, the brewer, said, if you go ahead and raise the money and buy this thing, I will provide it with accommodation in the brewery yard.
And where was the brewery yard?
Well, I was going to say the laundry yard, up by Gateway, Everland Road.
Anyway, that went, he sold out in about 2 years after that, and so they, just like that, it was announced that they would have to move, and at the annual fire brigade dinner, which was a very big occasion, they launched an appeal, and within a few months, hey presto, they had the new fire station in Charming Street.
They raised money for everything,
That
fire
time.
engines, uniform, everything.
And the fire engine was still horse-drawn. But then when, some years later, the fire bell would ring, and just and chaps would turn up and find there weren't any horses available. Because whereas at the turn of the century there were 200 horses at livery, perhaps down at the Bear and Three Swans. By this time, talking about 1910,
Well, they were kept.
horses were a very short supply. It might have been Joan's father's horse,
That's where they were kept.
which might have been out working.
Because Mrs. Hope wrote about this in the parish magazine. And she spoke about the riders riding down the horses bareback, or one of those would have been my father.
There you are,
Because they were our horses.
And then what happened in the First War was a lot of the horses were taken off to the war.
Well, by then, you see, 1910, we had a steam-driven steam pump, self-propelled. And it's rather amusing how they got a steam one. You know, steam, a great power, which powers our liners across the sea and all that sort of thing. And thoroughly reliable. And they had that for many years until, in fact, in 1920, when they bought a Leyland thing. But by then, Major Atterwell was the captain at the time of the changeover between the steam-driven and the petrol-driven. And he was putting about horror stories about how many fires this thing created by going to fires, which you can imagine. They had to get steam up to move the thing, and great sparks would fly out of it and so on.
And when was the fire station moved to its present site?
Oh,
That's
dear.
a different, well, it's in Hugh Phelan's book, but I think it
Yes.
was about 1966. But, you see, the Hungerford Fire Brigade, which we knew, and which Joan's father did for such a long time, was a different kettle of fish altogether,
Oh, yes.
in that it was
No
entirely self-supporting.
governance.
Yes.
The firemen
They
weren't
weren't
paid,
paid.
they bought everything themselves.
You know.
And in 19, I think it was 42, anyway, during the war, this brigade was absorbed into the National Fire Service. And ever since then, although the men in it are volunteers, of course, they do get paid for everything they do and what have you, but the original fire brigade, which we were interested in, lasted exactly 50 years. It is their centenary this year.
So very interesting. Let's get back to your notes.
Well, that is it. That's all in my notes.
Yeah. What about the next page?
On the
well,
there was the chap that did that lovely roll of honour.
Oh, well, Mr.
Town Hall.
Camburn was the first headmaster because these schools opened in 1910. But, I can't remember Mr.
No.
Camburn. I'm trying to talk about what I remember.
But it's the headmaster of that school who did that beautiful Henry.
You're not being allowed to say much.
Both schools.
You're not being allowed to say
I
much.
don't mind. I got him straight.
Come on.
But this, what is it, Donald? At the top of the stairs going
Rule
up.
of honour.
Yes, it's at the top of the staircase as you go up to the town hall. It's an illuminated,
Yes.
and that's Mr. Campbell did that. Beautiful. Well then, games played were football and cricket for the boys, netball for the girls, and rounders and stool ball.
What was that?
Well, I seem to be the only one that has ever heard of stool ball. It was a post with a square piece of wood on, which you know, you stood in front of it, rather like rounders really. I can't remember the rules, don't ask me.
And what, did somebody bowl the ball?
That's right, yes, it was a case of, you know, throwing the ball and hitting the ball, rather like rounders, except I think you had a different bat, because rounders was just a stick, wasn't it?
Yes.
Swimming was in the River Kennet, which was totally awful.
Awful.
Freezing!
Oh yes.
Oh.
A bit dirty.
Oh no, I don't mean dirty, I mean ice cold. Absolutely.
And what time of the year would you swim?
Well, whenever it was freezing.
So from same day on?
Oh, I had no idea, Karen, you know, I wasn't very old. And,
But we saw nothing of it. We swam in our lake at school all through the summer term. We just popped in.
well, I thought a lot of it.
Did you have to go?
Yes,
You
we
were made
did.
to go?
Yes, we did. Well, we marched down, you know.
Were you
They were
marched down in
bathing
your
huts.
costume?
Oh, no.
They're changing huts.
And where would they have been?
Well, by the
They've
side of
gone.
the river. In fact, there is a part of the fishery today known as the bathing pool,
Is there?
where it used to be. They used to bathe between demarcated lines, if you like.
It was a concession by the trustees, really,
Yes.
wasn't it? Which I don't know how long it lasted.
That's the only opportunity you had.
Yes, it was.
to swim.
And the
Yes, it
canal.
was.
Canal.
And who taught you? One of the teachers? Or did you just play?
I think I just held on to a rope and shivered. I don't remember instructions. Other people might, but I don't.
Who were your contemporaries? Are any of your contemporaries still living in Hungary?
Oh, Betty Mumford. Yeah, she's the one that springs to mind, really.
So I didn't think of her.
No.
Thinking of who you talked to.
Because most people have gone, really. I mean, I'm only here.
What's happened?
Well, I came home to look after my mother, and we stayed here. I mean, we had no thoughts of coming back, really. Just coincidence.